My name again is Jackie, an early childhood teacher. In last lesson we had looked at the alphabets and why it is important for kids to learn first the alphabets in form of the letter sounds. It's because it's the foundation of reading. So we want to see how children can read, how children can spell, how they can identify tricky words after learning the alphabets. Now we are borrowing the idea of Jolly Phonics, and in Jolly Phonics the system enhances children to be readers very fast at a very early age, and it doesn't follow the traditional way of reading the letter sounds from A up to Z or A up to Z. No. So Jolly Phonics has the series of books that kids have to follow first, the set. So the first set of book is this, Satipin. Now, when you see very well, there is a mixture. It doesn't follow the sequence of the alphabetical order. Why? Because this system makes children to start blending words very fast, to start reading very, very fast. So with Jolly Phonics method, when you are teaching children, the first thing is every letter that you want to introduce, you have to introduce with a story. The story that you are telling the children, arousing their interest, it has or it is emphasizing the letter sound that you may plan to introduce to the learners. Also, it looks at the action. Like in the last lesson you saw, we were introducing a letter sound with an action. So it looks at the story, it looks at the action, and also introduces a letter of the song. All these that reinforce the learning of the child to engage all children, because remember, children have individual needs. So with Jolly Phonics, we are starting with the first series, which is Satipin. Now, for example, children have just come from home and the teacher has introduced them to auditory discrimination. We talked about it. Those are sounds in the environment. When they're already known, then we come to this. So the first letter that we are introducing is letter S, which is sound S. Now, sounds, when you teach children, remember Jolly Phonics has 5 skills. The first one is the child knowing the letter name, letter sound first. After knowing it, then we go to writing it. After writing, the child has to blend. After blending, the child has to segment, and later on learn the tricky words. So it has 5 skills. But now the 5th one comes later, after some few weeks, when kids have been acquainted to blending and segmenting. So when I want, or a teacher wants to introduce the first letter, which is letter S, introducing its sound as S. So the teacher has to have variety of materials for children to manipulate. Remember, Jolly Phonics enhances sensorial learning, whereby children have to manipulate the environment using all the senses. So when I'm teaching sounds, children have to manipulate the environment. Children have to look at materials that have S in it or begin with S. So they look at so many objects that start with sound S. For instance, when kids are playing, you tell them to choose within their area. They see which picture has sound S. Like there we have a sun, we have a snail. So a teacher develops very many materials. If you are unable to develop, then you can bring concrete materials in the classroom that begins with that sound that you have introduced or you are going to introduce. So when you do that, you can do through songs. Children can sing songs that are reinforcing the same, or they watch videos. So you do many activities. When you are doing that, you are making the child to understand and learn that skill. When now he has known the sound that he's learning, then you move to the second stage of Jolly Phonics, which is writing skills. Now, before the real writing, even you can have a letter like this, sounds, then put glue, then put sand for the kinesthetic learners to touch, because they learn through touching. So when you are done with that, that's when now you come with something like this. So writing starts with coloring. After coloring, then the child traces the same sound. After tracing down here, the child has to copy the same sound. We introduce once. We don't say that coloring is today, tracing is tomorrow. No. In Jollyphonics, introduce once. After the letter has known, the child has known the letter sound, then goes to coloring, then traces, and also does what? Copies. This one is catering for all types of learners. Why? Because we have children who are beyond coloring in the same level. Remember, children have individual needs. We have children who can trace, but they cannot copy. But we have those who can do both and do this. So it is catering for all the learners. So after writing, then we are done with that. Then you move to the second letter, which is A. A, again, you do the environment, children manipulate all the words with A. After that, again, they move now to the writing skill, the way we did with S. Then we stop there. Then we move to the third letter sound, which is T. When we move there, again, manipulate, come with materials, things that start with sound T. Then kids manipulate after they have known. Then again, we do the same thing. So with Jollyphonics, after the first three letters, S, A, T, then children have to begin blending. Blending means they start reading, putting the letter sounds together to form a word. Now, we can develop some words from this S, A, T. You can make a word like A, T. You can make a word like A, S. Let's see. After the child has learned the first three letters, the child can, with the children together, the child chooses and makes A. The child chooses a letter sound. Remember, you set the environment for the child to be able to manipulate by himself or herself. So you find the child is already blending. He's putting one single letter sound together with another single letter sound, and the child is able to read. So the teacher's work, you direct the learner. You start first by showing, remember we are mixing teacher directed and children directed. So teacher directed, you showed them how they are supposed to read because you are training them. So it is A, S, as. Then the kids read A, S, us. Then all of us, the teacher plus the children, they read together A, S, us. So that is blending. It starts immediately after we teach the third letter sound. So the same happens when kids move to, when you finish with them, they have understood how to blend, then you come and introduce E sound as a single letter sound. The same procedure we followed when you were starting, you follow that procedure. Then when they have known how to write, maybe you've drawn it for them, they color the E sound, they trace the E sound, they rewrite it, then you preview what you had done with them. Again, they can blend. Up to here, children can look for words that are formed within. For example, the word they can form is E, S, is. They can form such a word. Okay, they can form such a word, E and S together. So they write the word is. So this is blending we are talking about. So the same continues when they done, then we go to P. After learning P, we follow the same procedure. Again, they form words up to here. Using the 5 letters, they blend those words. When they put together, blend and read the word. It's a very interesting activity. So when, as a teacher, you've taught them how to make, then you give children opportunity to explore the environment by making themselves. They can make the words down on the ground, either in the groups or individual. Now, in our classroom today, we've set a group here, group here, group here, group here. So the teacher is telling the kids from the flashcards that he has made, the children can use it to come up with the different words. Even without the words that the teacher has taught, children can come up with the different words. So they break them and read. That is blending. Very, very fast. So you do and finish the first set of Jolly Phonics book. So after blending, we come to what we call segmenting. Segmenting skill is whereby children have already mastered what blending is. They have already mastered how to blend, read the word. So now they come to segment. Segmenting is an ability of learners to be able to notice or say the sounds in a word. If children are able to say which sound is in that word, then they are doing the skill we call segmentation. For example here, let's just have an example. The child has blended this word to a. So the child has blended this word by himself or herself. So he reads a, tap. So he has already mastered that skill. Now he moves to this another level, which is segmenting. So the teacher, you are the one that now tells the child, can you spell for me the word tap? The child is not saying. But because he has been blending, the word tap is already in the mind of the child. The child will now break the sound, identify the sounds in that word tap. So the child in the mind breaks very fast up. Then the child will spell using the sound system. In early childhood, the first level we use the sounds to spell. So the child might say t, up, tap. He's spelling very fast. Or if it means writing, so the teacher has told the child to write, you find he'll listen to what the teacher said, tap. So the child will tap. He tells the teacher very, very fast. That is spelling. So in segmentation, it assists in spelling because children are able to separate or tell the sounds they notice in the words that are given by the teacher. And it's a very, very good skill because all of them enhances reading. So if children understand blending, then they understand segmentation. These are very good readers at early childhood education. So Jolly Phonics uses this system to enable children to start reading at a very early age. But reading has to start with the letter sounds. Children have to understand the letter sound first, know how it is written, then blend, then segment. So when they continue with the activities later on, in other few weeks later, then children now learn some tricky words. What new words that come in that don't follow the sound system, or a new word that the teacher has not taught, it becomes a tricky word to the child. So today this is what we wanted to share about how to read. We were looking at the first set of Jolly Phonics and how it is simple for children to start reading very early. Can you imagine children starting to read the first 3 letters, then the children they are able to read, they are able to write, they are able to segment what they have written. So this one is a challenge to the teachers or the schools that are using the old system of the child learning A, B, C, D up to Z. He finishes this, then later on he starts now reading letter or A, B, K, D up to Z. After finishing, that's when they start blending. So I'm challenging my teachers that we introduce this. I'm challenging the parents, when kids come home, this is the way to go. We teach them the sound, how it is sounded, then they start forming words very, very fast. So that is what we had to share today. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe and share with others. Let's meet in the next lesson. Goodbye.